Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be talking about innovative financial instruments, which is a part of Unit 1, that is Introduction to Management. Innovative financial instruments here means that, like, we all know, we all talk about traditional financial instruments, like we have treasury bills, we have equity shares, we have debt instruments like bonds, debentures. So these are some sort of traditional financial instruments. But innovative financial instruments are those or are those which have certain features which are a combination of various other instruments, or they are such an instrument whereby they fulfill the needs of respective issuers of certain companies, or they meet the financial requirements of various companies, keeping them at an edge in the market, or giving them an edge in the market. It is basically altering the terms of issue in such a way in order to achieve the predetermined purpose. So here companies try to think of instruments or bonds or notes whereby they will serve their purpose and also provide the subscribers who are subscribing to the particular instrument opportunity to make an investment, worthwhile investment. So there are certain purpose, or there are certain reasons with which companies or organizations make or use innovative financial instruments, or they develop new instruments which can be considered as innovative ones. So one of the reason is the different type of credit control and macro level liquidity management. So at a macro level, if you see in a country like India, there are various borrowers and lenders of funds. So in order to control those items, or in order to control those activities, some new instruments may be introduced whereby there is a mechanism to watch over, to monitor, and to evaluate. Secondly, matching cash flow requirements of the fundraiser. So some issuer companies, or some, when I talk about issuer company, that means I'm talking about a company which is issuing a instrument. So fundraiser or the issuer company may have different cash flows. So sometimes the cash flow may be not stable, or sometimes the cash flow may be stable. So in order to meet the requirements when the cash flow is not stable or the cash flow is less, then the companies can issue certain hybrid or new or innovative instruments whereby they meet such requirements. Next is satisfying other objectives like retaining management control. We all know when we issue equity shares, we are diluting the control in the uh, management. That is, as soon as equity shares are issued, there are more shareholders coming into the picture. That means the management becomes like, there is less control of the management over the issues of the company. So because the shareholders are considered as the real owners of the company. So what happens is that uh, in order to avoid such a situation, the companies may issue such instruments whereby there is an option on the part of the company to convert it into a bond or convert back into equity. So it depends how the company wishes to issue the instrument. So if the company wishes to keep it in a debt sector or debt type of fund, then they may issue such an instrument whereby it can be converted later into a debt or loan. Lastly, more effective catering to the needs of the investor. So like I have said previously, the investors find a new opportunity to make such an investment in the market, because when new type of or innovative instruments are issued, it provides a better revenue as well as better interest rates or better coupon rates, or a maturity amount which is significant in terms of other traditional financial instruments. So moving on, like these are the reasons why such instruments may be issued. So moving on to certain instruments, new instruments or RBI initiatives which were taken in order to facilitate these innovative products or innovative item or instruments. The thing is, when I talk about RBI initiatives, the RBI has already initiated certain ways through which new uh, financial instruments can be introduced in the market. So, one of the instruments or ways through which RBI has taken the initiative are mentioned in this slide. So, one is liquidity adjustment facility, that is LAF, repo and reserve repo. One is collateralized borrowing and lending obligation, that is CBLO. In short, sometimes it is often termed as COBLO. Then we have market stabilization scheme, that is MSS, and perpetual bonds or innovative bonds. So LAF or liquidity adjustment facility is actually an instrument or a monetary tool which is introduced by the RBI on behalf of the government of India, which allows banks to borrow money through repurchase agreement. That is, once they are borrowing money, it will be assumed that later on they will be giving it back at a particular point of time, but these are short-term instruments. So LAF is used to actually aid banks in adjusting the day-to-day mismatches in the liquidity position of banks. So LAF now consists of two types, like you have already understood these things earlier, I suppose, repo and reverse repo operations. So repo or repurchase option is a collateralized lending. So that is, it's part of lending purpose. That is, banks borrow money from Reserve Bank of India to meet short-term needs by selling securities to RBI with an agreement to repurchase the same at predetermined rate and date. So actually, it is uh, whereby the individual banks borrow it from the RBI by selling them certain securities with an agreement. That agreement shall be there whereby it will be mentioned that they will be repurchasing those securities which they have sold to RBI at a predetermined rate and date. I hope you have understood this meaning. Next, we have collateralized borrowing and lending obligation. Sometimes we refer it to as COBLO. So this CBLO is a money market instrument, or it plays in the money market, and it is operated by CCIL, that is Clearing Corporation of India Limited. So what happens here is that this organization or this institution, that is CCIL, that is Clearing Corporation of India, acts as an intermediary in meeting the requirements of two two other institutions. For example, suppose an institution A is having surplus funds, and there is an institution B which is having surplus securities. So what they do is, Institute A with having surplus funds will be giving the surplus funds to CCIL, that is Clearing Corporation of India Limited, and the organization B that is having surplus securities will be giving the securities to CCIL, that is Clearing Corporation of India. When I talk about the securities, these are not random securities but approved government securities, which may be treasury bills, which are with the organization in excess. So what happens is that the CCIL now, according to the requirements, since organization A is in requirement of securities rather than funds. Since they have funds, they have already given it to CCIL. So they are requiring more securities. So what they will do is, the organization A will obtain the securities from CCIL, and organization B, which is in need of funds rather than securities because they have already given the securities to CCIL. So CCIL, by looking at their requirements, will give the funds to the organization B. So this particular transaction is done anonymously. That is, A and B does not know what they have and what they need. Like A does not know what B requires and B does not know what A requires. This particular transaction is done through CCIL. That is, CCIL will only do the intermediary part, or they will act as an intermediary and give the required securities or funds when required. So generally in this CBLO transaction, bigger institutions like banks, maybe scheduled national banks, then we have foreign banks, we have cooperative banks, insurance companies, mutual funds, private banks, pension funds, etc., can actually take part in this particular transaction. Then we have market stabilization scheme. So market stabilization scheme is similar to that of uh, buying and selling of government securities by Reserve Bank of India. So it is open. It is similar to the open market uh, transaction made by Reserve Bank of India. But here, what the basic difference is that in open market operation, both buying and selling of government securities takes place. But in MSS, that is market stabilization scheme, only selling of government securities is made to withdraw excess liquidity. So basically MSS is a scheme through which the excess money or supply in the economy can be withdrawn by uh, uh, by buying or by taking the funds and selling some securities. So this is a market stabilization scheme so that the government can, or the RBI can, control the amount of excess liquidity in the country. So this amount that is raised by selling securities uh, is kept in an account called MSS account, that is market stabilization scheme account, and this amount cannot be used by the government of India for any government expenses or to meet its expenditure requirement. It can only be used to redeem that amount in future. Then we have perpetual bonds or innovative bonds. So when we talk about perpetual, that means for a long period of time, it means forever. So perpetual bonds or innovative bonds means those bonds which are issued by RBI or the government of India, through which the principal amount will be raised by the government or RBI and will never be paid back to the investor. So investor will never get back the principal amount, rather the investor will forever be getting an interest or coupon on the bonds that has been issued. So perpetual or innovative bonds are not that common, but still the company the government or the RBI issues such bonds, may issue such bonds and take the entire principal amount and not and the feature is that it will not return the principal amount, rather it will only give the interest of coupon rates at periodic intervals, so thereby reducing the burden of the payment of entire principal in lump sum. So this is all about the first part of innovative financial instruments. In the next video, I shall be discussing about the innovative instruments which are actually available, which are readily available in the market or which are being issued in the market for purpose of meeting various requirements.